untouched by the storm. Not a single drop of rain touched her linen. Her eyes followed the king's procession, calm and ancient, like she had been waiting for him. Gasps filled the air as the queen approached. She knelt, touched the girl's soft cheek, and wept, not in fear but in wonder. "She is a gift," the queen whispered. "Waterborn." A guard muttered, "The river took a woman and gave us this child." The queen nodded, lifting the baby gently. "Her name shall be Nwamiri, child of water. She will grow beside our son. Perhaps her spirit will bring him back to life." The king did not argue. The moment Nwamiri's tiny fingers wrapped around the prince's limp hand, the boy stirred for the first time in months. He opened his eyes and smiled. The river kept its silence. Its color remained black for 7 days, then cleared, leaving behind a lingering question in the hearts of the villagers. Had Adaku returned again? They buried no body. They found no trace. But songs began to rise in the wind, and mothers whispered to their daughters, "Do not cast away what you don't understand." Nwamiri, the river's daughter, was taken into the palace. She and the prince were raised like siblings, but the queen often watched Nwamiri with cautious eyes, because sometimes, when the child laughed near water, the river seemed to ripple in response. And once, when a palace maid tried to slap her, the maid was found the next day lying beside a clay pot of water, eyes wide open, whispering in her sleep, "Nwamiri is watching me." Years passed, and the Black River remembered her name. Nwamiri grew within the palace walls like a wildflower wrapped in silk. Though she had no royal blood, she was treated like a second jewel of the throne, and the villagers whispered that perhaps she was born of gods. The queen, ever watchful, allowed her to stay close to the prince, Prince Ife-Nyachukwu, whose body once faded like dying embers but now glowed with new life. From the moment her infant hands touched his healing had begun. They were never apart after that. Together they studied under palace tutors. Together they rode horses through the outer fields, barefoot in streams and silent among wildflowers. Their bond was deeper than blood, older than time. Some said they shared a soul. But something in Nwamiri was beginning to stir. By the time she turned 12, strange things happened around her. A wounded bird she touched took flight again. A barren patch of the palace garden bloomed overnight where she sat and wept. When she placed her palm on Prince Ifini's chest during a sudden fever, his breath steadied within minutes. The queen, now older and softer, pulled her into a quiet chamber one evening. "You carry her gift," the queen whispered. "Adaku's gift. The herbs, the healing, the power. You were not left at that river to die. You were sent for something greater." That night, Nwamiri could not sleep. She knelt before her window, looking at the river in the distance, and whispered to the stars, "Let me serve. Let me be more than a mystery." The village's answer came swiftly. A strange illness swept through Umudike one market day. Children vomited blood. Women fainted at their stalls. Even the town's herbalist fell to the floor in seizures, clutching his own bag of roots. Panic spread like smoke. The king ordered his guards to close the market gates. He feared an enemy's poison. Priests were summoned, rituals were performed, and sacrifices were made. But the sickness only grew. Nwamiri stood at the edge of the palace courtyard, watching from afar. Her heart beat wildly. She felt it, the sickness was unnatural. Something told her it wasn't war or witchcraft. She went to the queen. "Let me help." The queen hesitated, then gave a slow nod. With Prince Ifini at her side, Nwamiri left the palace for the first time in years, dressed not in royal cloth but in a plain white wrapper, a calabash on her head and confidence in her steps. The villagers stared. Some bowed. Others whispered, "She is the child from the river. She carries the spirit of the one we wronged." But none stopped her. Nwamiri moved from house to house, collecting herbs, ashes, palm wine, and dry leaves. She crushed, soaked, and boiled. She stirred under moonlight, speaking words older than the village itself. The first patient she touched was a boy, no older than 6. His skin burned with fever.